What's the main difference between people living paycheck to paycheck and wealthy people? What's the main difference? If you know, put it down in the comments before I even go to the next thing. So I'm going to answer that real quick. The difference between people living paycheck to paycheck and wealthy people is a plan. They have a plan for their life. Most people living paycheck to paycheck, we have a plan for the next month. We have a plan for the next couple days. Most people living paycheck to paycheck don't have a plan for the next year, for the next 5 years, for the next 10 years. That's the main difference. Now, stick around because I'm going to explain. I want to dig down into this. I want to really explain why having a plan can take you from average income to wealthy. What's up, guys? It's Dante from 5 Minute Mornings. Some of y'all are wondering, what is 5 Minute Mornings? Well, my wife and I created 5 Minute Mornings for people who are tired of living paycheck to paycheck, for people who want to become financially free. And the way we're going to do that in the community is we're going to do that through motivation, through education, and then through accountability. Because without those three, you can never move from paycheck to paycheck to becoming wealthy. So if that sounds like something for you, then just go ahead and comment in the comments down below. Let's get started. Now, how often do you plan? How far ahead do you have a plan for your life? Do you have a plan for today? Do you have a plan for tomorrow? Do you have weekly plans? Do you have monthly plans? Or do you even have yearly plans? Guys, creating a plan is going to take you from where you are now to where you want to be. The only way that's going to get done is having a plan. It's just so vital for everyone who is not where they want to be right now, this moment in time. If you are not where you expected yourself to be 5 years ago, or if you're not where you want to be, then you need to have a plan in order to get from where you're at right now to where you want to be. Because that's the only way you can get there. You're not just going to look up and happen just to arrive in the area you wanted to get. Or you're not just going to look up and have $1 million appear in the bank. The only way you're going to do that is to having a plan to how you're going to get it. And don't just have a plan. Don't just have a plan in your head. Don't just try to think you can hold all this stuff that you're going to do, all your goals, all your plans in your head. You need to have a written plan. Don't even write on the computer first. Pick up a pencil, get a pen, get some notebook paper, get some wide rule or college rule, and write it down. Put your plans on paper. Just put everything you're going to do on paper. And then when you put it on the paper, put it somewhere you're going to look at every day. Put it on the fridge. Every time you walk in, every time you go to the fridge, you're going to look at a sheet of paper. And then you're going to say, am I where I want to be? Am I heading in the direction of the goals that I put on my fridge? Because that's the only way you're going to get there, is to actually have them written down. Don't keep them in your head. Don't put them in your phone. I mean, how often are you going to open up a folder in your phone that says goals, says plans? You really don't unless you have to. If it's something, you need to put it somewhere where you can see it every single day. Somewhere it's going to be a constant reminder to you that this is what we're aiming for. This is why I'm waking up in the morning. This is why I'm waking up early. This is why I'm going to bed late. If you don't have a constant reminder, in a couple weeks, you're just going to be like, well, I just don't feel like doing it anymore. Or you're just going to completely forget that you even did it. Another reason to have a plan is to make sure you're using your time efficiently. Guys, you have to use your time efficiently. You have to. You need to know what you're doing every day to make sure you're getting better every day, and every day after day after day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. The only way you're going to ensure that you're better today than you were yesterday is by having a plan for the day and making sure you're using your time efficiently. A good way to do that is first thing you need to do is make a daily planner. Before you even create a plan that you want your day to look like, go a whole week, write what you did, hour by hour by hour, for every day, how much you slept, how much time you spent on YouTube, how much time you spent watching Netflix, how much time you spent watching TV, how much time you spent on work, what was your travel time to work, how long did it take you to get there, how long did it take you to get home, how much time did you spend eating, how many times did you eat a day. All this needs to be put into a daily plan. Then after a week, compile that and see how many hours you spent on each thing. How many hours did you spend eating? How many hours did you spend on social media? How many hours did you spend on Netflix? If that doesn't line up to where you want to be in the future, if that doesn't align with your future goals, you need to change it. And you don't need to wait and put this off for another year. Otherwise, you're not going to change for another year. You need to do that today. The average amount of time people spend just on social media is 142 minutes a day. On average, people spend 142 minutes a day on social media. So 2 hours and 20 minutes. I mean, that's just crazy. It's just crazy when you think about 142 minutes a day on social media. 2 hours and 42 minutes. And estimates suggest that in 2022, people will also spend 197 minutes watching TV. 197 minutes watching TV. 142 minutes on social media. You combine those and you get 339 minutes, which is 5 hours and 39 minutes a day goofing off, not furthering your future. Now, you know what? Some of y'all are going to say, well, I watch YouTube. I get the best advice. I get tips. I look on YouTube for education, or I don't spend that long. I only spend 3.5, or I spend 4. So what I'm going to do is, to please everybody that's going to say that, I'm going to say we're going to take 75% of it. Just 75%. And let's just say we're just going to use it, which is 70. That's going to be 4 hours and 23 minutes. Just do the calculation. 4 hours and 23 minutes on social media or watching TV a day. So outside of work, you spend almost 4.5 hours just doing something to bide your time by, watching TV, catching up on the latest Netflix shows, catching up on YouTube. Now, I'm not saying that wealthy people don't do that. I'm not saying that people make a bunch of money don't do that. We do that, but we also do other things. Wealthy people also have a bunch of other things to do. They're not just going to say, I'm going to watch Netflix for the rest of the day. They're going to say, you know what? I want to watch Netflix. I'm going to do an hour of Netflix. But after that hour of Netflix, I'm going to do an hour of reading. Then maybe, if I have more time, I may do another 30 minutes of Netflix. But after that, I'm probably going to do 30 minutes of studying. Or 30 minutes of something that's going to further my progression toward my goals. So we're not just going to just spend all that time, wake up, go to work, come back home, spend 4.5 hours, eat, go to bed. No, we're going to use some of that time to further our career or further where we're at now and make sure we're better than we were yesterday, and we're going to be better tomorrow than we were today. Now let's just imagine for a second. Let's just imagine. Let's say we use 2 of those 4.5 hours, just 2 hours, to better yourself. Where would your life be in 1 year from now? Where would your life be if you used 2 hours of every day just bettering yourself? Just making sure you are better than you were yesterday and setting up a foundation for you to be better tomorrow than you were today. Just imagine where you're going to be in 1 year. I mean, there's 365 days in the year. Now, 52 weeks. We'll just put it that way. 52. Say you're going to use 10 hours a week furthering yourself. 100 hours in a year of self-improvement. Can you imagine where you're going to be next year? The growth is going to be amazing. You're not even going to recognize who you are today from who you will be in the future. Now I know some of you guys are going to say, well, do I have to do it? I'm just going to get promoted in my job. I'll politic and work my way up in life. Well, guys, for 90% of people, it doesn't work that way. Stuff happens. People get fired. The economy goes bad. You see all that happening today. So how much can you depend on one job or that job to get you to where you want to be. Just, I mean, how much can you really depend on that? I mean, because wealthy people don't just depend on one source of income. They have many sources of income. Just so in case something happens, something crazy happens, and they get fired from that job. They're not even worried. They're just sitting back at the house like, oh, this is a minor inconvenience. I'll find another one. Matter of fact, they don't even have to go out and look for another one. Somebody's going to call them on the phone saying, hey, I got another job here for you. Come on in. We're going to do an interview. Because usually they're in positions that are highly desirable. Like people are calling them on the phone, asking them every day, hey, man, when can you come to my company? Usually they're not even worried about it. Their family's not worried about it. They're living stress-free at home. Because, I mean, guys, and they always focus on self-improvement because they plan their days. They make sure they know what's going to happen today, what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen in a week, what's going to happen in a month, what's going to happen in a year, and even sometimes what's going to happen in 5 years. I mean, they're not over here worried about, oh, my paycheck's going. I don't know if my paycheck's going. They know their money's coming. They know it's coming. They probably have an accountant to deal with it. They're not even worried about it. I'm going to tell you one more thing, and then I'm going to get you out of here. I'm going to tell you one more thing. Guys, people living paycheck to paycheck most often don't plan. And I'm not saying, sometimes it's not even their fault. Sometimes it's not even their fault. Sometimes they have this huge idea. Man, they're like, oh man, I'm going to start a company, I'm going to do such and such. At the end of the year, it's going to be $1 million company. We're done. That's it. And then they bring it. What happens is everybody wants validation that their idea is going to work. Nobody just wants to hop off the cliff on that one idea and say, this is it. This is my one parachute. I don't know who packed it. I don't know what did it. If it doesn't work, I die. I mean, everybody wants a backup plan. They want validation that all their stuff is going to work. And when they bring it to their friends or their family's like, oh man, I can't see you doing that. That's crazy. Why would you do that? That's way too big. We've never done anything like that. We've never seen anything like that. So why would you do it? And what happens is they shut down their idea. And when they shut down their idea, usually everybody gets their idea shut down, doesn't say, oh, well, I still think it's going to work. They usually agree with them. Oh, you don't think it's going to work? All right, I'll go back to the drawing board and I'll try to bring you something next year. And then we'll see if this one's going to work. Like, they're looking for other people's opinions. Don't look for other people's opinions to get started. Just get started. Usually what you're doing, the people around you have never done before. They've never done it. So they're just going to tell you not to do it because they've never done it. Just take the step and do it. So what side are you going to be on? Are you going to be on the side of the wealthy in the future? Or are you going to be on the side of people who are living paycheck to paycheck? The only way to bridge that gap is by planning. If you start planning today, then you can almost guarantee in your future you'll be wealthy. You can almost guarantee it. So where do you stand?